Jazz hands.
Right. Is it? Or is it?
Just Jack.
Spirit finger.
That part.
Watching too much. We watch too many TV shows. Yeah.
Too many movies, all that good stuff. Yes.
We do.
Hello, everybody. We back. We back.
Come on in the room. Come on. Hi, Lorenzo. Oh, hold on. Before we say anything,
I missed him.
Congratulations, Miss Jasmine.
We haven't even started
Thank
the
you.
show yet.
I know. I just wanted to be the first one to say it to her because I'm just sitting here. I saw that. I was like, oh. I was so proud. Like I did something.
You know
That Washington 7, Philadelphia 14.
You know what?
I was so proud though.
I'm in that dang. Oh,
It was like, it was so precious. I loved it. I want one of those tiaras too. I just want one to have.
There we go. Hello, everybody. Hello, come on in. Tell a friend, join us tonight. We are back live with Juicy Tales and Roddy Chat. Gonna give you guys a few minutes to come on in and play with us tonight. I got wine tonight.
Mine's coming through the door. So if I go black for a second, I'll be right back.
If you're out there listening to us in Restream land, feel free to say hello. Let us know where you're at in the country or in the world. We are back tonight. Yes, it's been busy.
the trio is back.
Yes. A little tired, but we're here.
You got it.
I got one more trip to Shy. Oh my God, I can do it.
You can do it. It's almost there.
So tired.
You get rest after Thanksgiving. You get rest for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right. I'm cooking. Anyway. Cooking and driving.
On Thanksgiving, you're gonna drive?
Yes, ma'am. I got to get people to Granny's house for dinner. I only drive half the day. I'm usually done by maybe 1 or 2. I don't drive all day. Nope. Come on in, tell a friend. Make sure you let us know where you are joining us from in the chat, and just let us know your name and city or state or anything that just, say hello to us, because we definitely want to recognize you. We got Mr. Lorenzo already in the room. Yes. We know we've got you on several different platforms, everybody. So come on in, tell a friend. We've got a very, 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 very hot topic tonight. Very hot. I'm watching Danny uncork the bottle.
Right. Can I get it right? I normally use the other one.
There we go.
Yay.
Good job.
I know, right? Take a bow, yes. Thank you.
Good job.
I'll be here. I'm not exactly sure how long I'll be here.
Wow.
I'm back. Sorry.
Okay. We see ya. No problem. Oh. All right, ladies, are we ready to get started? Yes, we've given everybody a few minutes to get a little last minute things together. We understand what that's like. Believe you me, we do. So, hello, everyone. I am your hostess, Ms. Juicy, and I want to welcome all of you to another marvelous Monday on Juicy Tales Erotic Chat. And of course, I could not do this show without my beautiful, vivacious, gorgeous, simply sublime, beautiful, melanated, beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful queens, Ms. Danny's Window and Miss Jasmine Purple Rain. So,
no, right? I need a yes. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So yes.
Okay.
I forgot to upload the applause tonight. My bad, ladies. I'm a little rusty tonight. That's how I feel. A little rusty.
We'll let it ride this time. We'll let it ride.
Let it ride. Oh,
okay.
Thank you. I had to.
It's okay.
Woo! Look, I'm happy I remember my name. Okay, that's how much ripping and running I've been doing for the past.
Remember my name.
Right. Yes, it has been. So, Miss Juicy, first of all, I got to give a shout out to Chicago. I got to give a shout out to Indianapolis. I have been on the road, as a lot of you know. I sell adult toys and lingerie, and I host events, and I am one tired puppy. I'm just going to go ahead and I am. It is definitely catching up with me. I was in Indianapolis for Miss Jasmine Purple Rain, her fabulous birthday celebration. We had such a good time. Mm-hmm.
What'd you say? We can't hear you.
Jasmine, we didn't hear you.
Did you mute by?
Did you hit your mute? Did I hit your mute? Let me make sure I didn't hit your mute. She'll get it. Don't worry. You could just... It won't let you unmute.
Go out and come back in.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me take it off. Let me put it back on. See if that helped. Okay. We'll see you in a second. And then I traveled to Chicago 2 weekends in a row, going for 3 this weekend, headed back to the Chi. So got to give much love to all my folks that have supported me up and down the highway these past few weeks, because woo, we've hit some weather.
That means that I get to see you.
Girl, I'm there Saturday to do Mistress Crush's event, and I'm staying with a friend, and then we gone in the morning.
When do you get there?
Probably right before the event to set up.
I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get to see you. I'm not this close that often.
I know. I know. It is so crazy right now.
And as a matter of fact, I know someone who's probably going to want to place an order with you before you come.
Well, I can't even do any more orders right now. I'm putting in an order tomorrow. I should say that. I am putting in an order tomorrow in order for it to get here in time.
Okay, well then I'll let them know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait a minute, Jasmine. I'm coming. I'm sorry. My bad.
Okay, that's better.
Yes.
I was just saying that my birthday was great because of you. Thank you so much, Bear.
You're welcome.
It looked like it was a lot of fun from what I saw.
We had fun. Erotic Bingo was a big hit. The banana eating
Bingo was
contest.
great.
The banana eating contest was so much fun. Whipped cream everywhere, guys. If you weren't there, you missed it.
Of course you did. It was a mess.
It was everywhere.
Mess, a good mess though.
Yeah, it was some good trouble.
Yes.
Good trouble. So, Jasmine, why don't you share with everyone your new title?
Dun, 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 dun.
Right. Uh-oh.
Okay. In my vanilla life has
You're breaking up, honey.
my mission statement. Oh no. Is that better?
Yeah.
Am I better? Okay.
Yeah.
So I competed since World Elite pageant. And I don't know how many pageant girls have done this, but I did it using my non-vanilla education, eroticism, and intimacy. And I won my division title of Queen Loaded Elite. So I am a national queen for a year and get to do all the pageant girl stuff and community service, bringing light to our world of eroticism and giving education, and not in the way that they think we actually are.
Okay. Okay. Congrats.
Oh, wonderful! Congratulations,
Thank you.
Queen. We just need to
Thank
just call
you,
you
ma'am.
just Queen. She's Queen Jasmine from now on. Queen Jasmine.
There we go.
And then give your nice wave.
We're practicing. We're practicing. So, and Danny is not out in California tonight where she normally is. She's in Chicago.
Yes, I am. I am in Chicago because I had a graduation for a school that I work for, which I got an honorary doctorate from. So yes, I am Dr. A. Danny White.
Ooh.
But we did a graduation this weekend for a few students who received their honorary doctorate. And yeah, that's why I'm here, and also to play with my god baby.
Honestly, I feel like it was more about the god baby.
It really was. I get to play with my god baby. I'm so happy.
I just kind of feel that right now.
I love her little stuff. Oh my god, her face she just radiates light, and I love it. I love it.
Well, ladies, we got a tough one tonight. We got a great topic. We hope everybody will join in with the topic, with your questions, with your comments. We ask that you be respectful. And I also ask that tonight, really honestly, in listening to this podcast, that you keep an open mind. Because this topic is touchy for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. And I think that it's an important topic that we need to discuss and that we need to get out there. But before we do that, we got to do our football shit. We got to do the scores. So why not? We're in week 10, guys. Week
10 of 18.
We are week 10. So let's go. Let's see here. Did I open it? Maybe not. I thought I did.
My team lost yesterday.
Okay. So we got finals for hang on.
Oh wow.
Broncos. It was Broncos and Titans, and the Broncos were at the Titans, and the Broncos lost to the Titans. Okay, 10-17. It was the Colts and the Raiders. The Colts won 25-20 with interim head coach Jeff Saturday, who used to be the center. And he's also in the Football Hall of Fame, as well as in the ring in the Colts Stadium, and a really great guy. Got to meet him all those years ago. So congratulations to Jeff Saturday on his first win. 25-20 was the final score, We got the Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers, and it looks like the Packers squeaked by the Cowboys 31-28.
Oh
We've got the Cardinals and the Rams. Cardinals beat the Rams 27-17.
wow.
Chargers and the 49ers. And it looks like the 49ers defeated the Chargers 22-16. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let me go back up. Sorry, my thing finally just did what it was supposed to do and open up. Thursday night we had the Falcons and the Panthers, and it looks like the Panthers squeaked by and beat the Falcons 25-15. Your Seahawks and the Bucks. Looks like the Seahawks lost 16-21 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let us continue. We have got the Browns and the Dolphins. The Browns, I don't know what happened, but we could not get it together. So the Dolphins spanked that ass 39-17. I still love my Brownies. The Saints and the Steelers. It looks like the Steelers beat the Saints 20-10. In a close one, it looks like the Lions defeated the Bears 31-30.
They sure did.
The final in overtime between the Vikings and the Bills, and it looks like the Vikings are on a roll this season because they just beat the Bills in OT 33-30, and the Vikings are 8-1. The Texans and the Giants, and it looks like the Giants beat the Texans 24-16. The Jaguars and the Chiefs. It looks like the Chiefs beat the Jags 27-17. For Monday night, which is going on right now, we've got the Commanders with 10 and the Eagles with 14. And those guys are your NFL scores. So, I know I ain't happy with my Brownies right now. We need.
I ain't happy that we lost to the dang on Detroit Lions. Wow.
Hey, Ralph.
Hey, Ralph. How you doing?
So, hi, Ralph. Welcome. So tonight, our topic is transgender youth. Okay. And I understand completely that this is like a touchy subject for some folks. But personally, I don't care. We about to get into this tonight. We about to get into this. So we want you all to keep open mind. Ralph, what do you mean not so good? What's going on, baby? What's going on? We can
Give a second.
If you want to share. If you want to share.
Or we can send you some positive energy and that everything is going to work out the way it needs.
So
that part.
Let us continue. And he said,
we'll
long
talk
story.
Later, Ralph. I'll call you when I get off. Me and him been friends for 20 years, so I'll call him after we get off.
Well, we definitely sending you light and love, Ralph, so that things will work out for the positive.
Exactly.
Well,
thanks for joining us tonight.
But thank you. Yeah, exactly. So, let's talk about this transgender, because a lot of people, first of all, I feel, don't understand exactly what transgender is. And they don't understand that it has nothing to do with your sexual orientation or your genitals. Okay. A lot of times our thought process is the thought process of other people. Okay. Especially when it comes to sex. And it's very antiquated. It's very how should misinterpreted. We have had from religion to zealous folks to people that have absolutely not 1 ounce of education or compassion try to tell you and put you in your own sexual box, number one. And then number two, try to tell you what other people are as well. We want to break that cycle, especially with our youth. And I think it's very important that we talk about the different types of sexual orientation that people can have. And I think it's very important that we recognize that a lot of this does start when you're a child. It doesn't instantaneously happen when you're an adult. A lot of adults that are transgender will tell you that they started having thoughts or feelings of inadequacy or depression or not fitting in, and not fitting in not just with the people around them, but not fitting into their own body. If you can imagine what that would be like, not to feel comfortable in your own body since you were a child, it's no different than an eating disorder. Some of us have had, we're overly obese and we don't feel comfortable. We get bullied. You get, um, you go through bouts of depression. Some women overeat because possibly they've been molested as young girls, and they're trying to be less attractive to whoever their perpetrator is. Okay. So there's a lot of things that go into the thought process of this, even as a 5-year-old. Okay. One of the things that I always try to throw out there, maybe that people might understand this type of thought process, is if for 1 second, and we'll use Dwayne Wade, because I wanted to definitely talk about Zaya, but let's talk about Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade has 3 sons. Zaire is going on to play basketball and doing very well. Okay. So everybody knew he was going to be a prodigy, right? He's going to follow in his father's footsteps. He's tall. He's gifted with the basketball. He's been dribbling the basketball since he was, knee high to a grasshopper. And that's acceptable. That's okay. Let's talk about a pianist or a flautist that's a child. We call them a prodigy. We just know that they're going to go on and at 3 or 4 years old can sing or can play an instrument very well. They're going to go on and do great things, maybe in the music world. But if a 3 or 4-year-old comes to you and they say, I want to wear a dress, or I want to play with dolls, or I want to work on the car, or I want to do things that are traditionally boy things and I'm a girl, or I want to do things that are traditionally girl things and I'm a boy, there's a big problem. A big problem. We're gonna let whoever has the
That kind of had like perfect timing. That is alarming.
It's my house. It's by my house.
But it's perfect timing, because we should be seeing this as something that it should be slightly alarming to people.
It is. It is very alarming, especially when you're talking about children and you're talking about youth. And we all know, all of us are mothers. We've had children, and we've seen how our children have transitioned over the years. Yeah, we want to choke them to death sometimes, but they're still our children. And we've watched how they have grown and changed and become who they are now, or are continuing their journey to be a human being. But we don't talk about a lot of times their sexual orientation. A lot of children don't feel comfortable talking about sex, and we all know, especially Jasmine and I, being in this field, we got some fucked up people that are adults. Well, it didn't just start when you were an adult. It started way back when. It started a long time ago, and it starts with children. I think one of the most I don't know if everybody got to see Bruce Jenner become
Caitlin.
Caitlyn, and he had that series or that show with, I think it was Diane Sawyer. It was like about a 2-hour show or so, and he talked about how at 5 years old he knew he was different. He knew he was in the wrong body. And a lot of times, people that conceal things, they become overachievers. So what does he do to try to be masculine? He has children. He has a lot of children, and he wins the most prestigious athletic event for a male in winning the decathlon, getting the gold medal, being on the box of, the Wheaties box. One of the highest honors you can get as an athlete. But it was all a lie. He wasn't this big masculine person. Inside, he was a woman. And he had to hide it. And he hid it until he was in his 60s. And he did all the guy things that he was supposed to do, but was never happy and never satisfied and never fulfilled. What are your thoughts, ladies, about youth being transgender? Do you think that it's something that is in a figment of their imagination, or do you feel that this could actually be something that goes on in life and it really is what they are?
I don't know they are who they are. Honestly, I kind of feel that that's a individual person's answer. I don't feel like I'm a person that can give an answer for anybody else other than me. And I feel like everyone should actually live that way. You don't get to have an opinion about somebody else's life. When I was younger, I was, well, shoot, up until maybe 35, complete tomboy. When I was younger, around maybe second, third grade, I wanted to be a boy because I was such a tomboy. I didn't want to be a girl. I saw how the dudes was looking at the girls and how they would treat them, and I didn't like that. And so I didn't want to be a girl. But it was because of that. It wasn't necessarily because I didn't feel like I was a girl. I just didn't want to be treated like a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Because my brothers didn't treat me like a girl. They treated me like I was a little boy. My brother would punch me in the chest and everything else and be like, "You better take it." I mean, we wrestled. I did everything. I played sports. I played ball. I did all of that. I was never really a girly girl. Now, I cannot imagine it going any further than that. But if it does, I can't even imagine how someone would feel with that, especially being a young person. Again, my reasoning was for, I didn't like how I saw women or girls being treated, so I wanted to be a boy. But not, but feeling like you're something that you're not. I can't imagine that, but I can't imagine that can be something that is easy to express, especially as kids when well, my generation was the children are seen and not heard generation. We wasn't no, you better not, you better don't say a dog on thing. So with that kind of feeling of you can't really express, like, I mean, I told you when I got pregnant, I felt like I couldn't even express the first time I felt him kick because I was afraid of what I was going to get from my parents or from anybody else. A child feeling like I can't express myself because I'm afraid of your reaction or your response, that can't be something that is good on any level.
Yeah. Jasmine?
Jasmine, I see that frown. What's going on, Jasmine? You okay? I saw that frown. Ooh, okay.
Okay. She'll be right with us in a second. She said her computer is acting up. Okay. Um,
That frown go. I knew something wasn't right.
at least we can see her.
Yeah.
We can still see you. So here's the thing. One of the things that I definitely wanted to get into tonight is a lot of people think that this is just, oh, this is a phase, number one. It- if especially if you're not accepting of what the child is saying to you. It's just a phase. Oh, Johnny will get over it. And I really want to get into, after we take um, a little short break. Oh, can someone send Ralph the link, please, so that he can have it?
Jasmine, are you able to?
So it really is important that we have this conversation because so many people um, don't don't talk about a lot of stuff. Number one, but they really are not going to talk about this. So one of the things I wanted to do tonight is, you know, me, I love to give my wonderful definitions, and let's put in here a trans. Let's put in here what a transgender person actually is defined as. So a transgender person is someone whose gender identity or gender expression does not correspond with their sex assigned at birth. Many transgender people experience dysphoria, which they seek to alleviate through transitioning, often adopting a different name and set of pronouns in the process. Additionally, they may undergo sex reassignment therapies or surgeries, such as hormone therapy and sex reassignment surgery, to more closely align their primary and secondary sex characteristics with their gender identity. Not all transgender people desire these treatments, however, and others may be unable to access them due to financial or medical reasons. So once they do this, those who desire to medically transition to another sex may identify as transsexual. So there was a lot of info in there, and I thought that was like one of the best um, definitions that I found that was pretty clear cut. Whereas some other ones are a little more convoluted, but I want people to understand that your gender is one thing. Your sexual orientation is something totally different. Or how you identify yourself can be totally different than the gender assignment that you may have been given at birth. Okay, So traditionally, I'm going to say that traditionally, if you are born with a penis, you are considered a male. Traditionally, if you're born with a vagina, you are considered a female. Everybody pretty much has been taught that. Everybody kind of agree with that. Everybody can just kind of, yeah. Um, your sexual orientation, yes, Ralph, it is a choice. It is definitely a choice. But some people feel that they're trapped in the wrong body. And there are scientific and medical reasons that this also can happen. Everybody's heard of the X and Y chromosomes, correct? Which make up our gender, the basics for our gender are the X and Y chromosomes that we have. And I think what happens is when we talk about chromosomes, people don't quite understand how the chromosomes actually work. And some people can actually have the chromosome, and then at the last minute something can happen where the chromosome changes. And I think one of the sayings that's out there that a lot of people always say, God doesn't make any mistakes. Okay. And he doesn't make any mistakes. If you truly believe that God makes no mistakes, then there is a possibility that there are people out there that may identify as transgender if he's not making any mistakes. So just because they have a penis or they have a vagina, that does not necessarily mean that they identify as a male or a female. Does that make sense to everyone? I can't hear you, Jasmine. I have two screens for you now. Why do I have two screens?
Yeah,
there you go.
That's because I don't know what my computer's doing. It's doing some funky thing. So I'm logged in. I'm on my computer. So I have a great signal, but so that you all can hear me, I log in with my phone.
Go slow though when you talk, because when you talk fast, it don't work.
Got you.
Okay, so we got Mr. Island. Do you want to come on? Just give me a thumbs up. All right, gotcha. Hello. Welcome.
Hello. Hi.
How y'all doing?
Good.
Groovy.
I'm loving the commentary.
Good. Thank you. I think it's an important topic to talk about because a lot of transgender people are attacked. A lot of them suffer from depression and suicide. A lot of them are killed. It's on the rise, especially in the African American community. Yes. Killing transgenders seems to be a sport of some sort, and it's not cute at all. I think everybody has the right to live their life the way they want to, and their own sexual orientation is up to them. And I think one of the reasons why a lot of people that are transgender don't come out and say that they are, especially if they've had reassignment surgery, is because they fear that somebody will kill them. Correct. And they simply just want to live their life.
So, okay, Rob.
Well, y'all are touching on a whole bunch of stuff that, whether directly or speak on in my personal life. So, as you were talking about with the children thing, I've been telling this about going to Broad Ripple and Tech and seeing how sexual orientation kind of was a thing, like the transition when people came publicly out with it But I feel like when you're a child, there's so many variables, and I'm gonna come from a so many variables that factor in about a child's sexual orientation. One big thing is communication. You know, even starting from young, don't discuss it. They don't even tell a kid what a penis and a vagina is from the 80s. So, and I was raised real old school with real hard men and all that type of stuff. But I full of women and the firstborn grandson of a family dominated by women. I only had two biological uncles. Told me to put bass in my voice when I was 6. Hadn't even hit puberty yet. But right,
Need to find that quick, sir. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, growing up, you know, like when you first grow up, I do believe that take on characteristics of the most imposing parent or the most parent that they or a father. And me not having a father in the house, my father wasn't in my life. Example, I always use this example. A little boy don't learn how to stand up and pee. He has to be shown that by a man, sit on the toilet. So if he's seeing that as a learned behavior, he's going to feel more comfortable. And I always use this as another example. If a little boy, if he has and he sees him showing affection, to him showing his buddy playing and stuff, and the camaraderie. Hey man, it's my buddy. He might think it's more comfortable to hug or something because that's what he sees, but he don't know no better. To him it's just showing affection. Slap each other on the butt. Good job. Nobody think that's gay or anything like that. It's just showing love. To say it's a lot of things have to play with learned behaviors, and then you got self-esteem, and then you got all the things when you're a child. I just always, I feel like, heck nowadays, let's say 12 or 11, because by the time they 13, 14, kids is minded than we are due to how the world is. I believe it's a lot of discussion that should be involved. I think it's a lot of factors that we should take in. Like the young lady was saying, she grew up a tomboy. My mother grew up a tomboy. So I don't have a mother. I didn't get much affection from my mother. But I'm also didn't get it. But nowadays, a lot of women don't seek affection. They don't even get it because they grew up with mothers that were so hard, whatever times or whatever, how they being raised, didn't have time, whatever. But as a man looking for it, again, you don't get it, and you didn't, and you want to give it, but you didn't receive it. Then you got to learn the proper way. That play a factor. So then, like I said, in high school, I also believe, like, this is how I fashion all this in my head. In high school, everybody wants to be a part of something. Everybody wants to be a part of something. I don't care. Like me, I was a chameleon. I off kids. I hung with the gangsters. I hung with everybody. I had no problem. But I also grew up a foreign exchange student. I grew up in Howville. So, my mother worked for the Matter Jobs. I was around different things. So like in high school, I was a boy. If you don't fit in any group, the one group that will always the alphabet community, wherever the heck, I don't know. Look, I don't know proper terminology. Y'all gonna have to deal with, what I mean? But like that's the one group that has to accept
LGBTQ
everybody.
plus.
ABC, DEF plus.
LGBTQ plus.
LGBTQ plus.
Yes.
Yes.
Close.
Okay. All right. And I'm a little tired. I just woke up from a nap. But no, seriously. So like they have to accept everybody. You can't discriminate, and you can be a football player and not be the best, and they can still kick you out or talk about you, or you can be the one to talk about you because you ain't the prettiest, but you can play. I mean, that's the one group that accepts everybody. I've seen in high school, and I like I said, this is hypothesis. I feel what happens is, so part of that community, and y'all strictly just friends. You like them in class. And I had a guy who's gay since high school. You know what I'm saying? I got gay female friends and all that stuff. And so I feel like, in high school, you're trying to find yourself, and say you get with somebody and y'all truly are friends. Well, but once you're around something, you become comfortable with it, and you don't judge it, and it's normal. One day that friend might do something to you or kiss you. Not even nothing. Not you was raised against to your moral code or your moral standard of what you were taught, but you're putting this nothing, and then maybe it progresses along there. But it starts off wanting to feel, and that ain't even, like I said, it ain't even just this. We're talking about sexual orientation to play part in all these things I'm talking about, part in from your upbringing. I was the most emotional one. I speak about my emotions, and I have no problem expressing how I feel. Upon like, even they was like, this boy gonna be gay, he doing too much. And I learned that I picked up being around women that I do that most men might not do. Maybe a body move, ability of talking about certain subjects. I could sit like I'm talking to y'all. I could sit in a room full of women for problem. I played with Barbie dolls. My mama got me a damn Cabbage Patch doll when I was a kid. So I'm just saying it's a lot of factors that factor in, but the communication, I feel, is not there between adults for whatever reason. Their lack of knowledge, whether the era they grew in. But the key thing is the discussion is that there's you leave life trying to make these hard life decisions, and then when they make these decisions and they get older, then they're made to feel a certain way, then that leads to more therapy to be taken care of because of emotional of that nature, and then you got life traumas that affect them. So I mean, it's so much that plays in it. To me, that you can't judge. You know what I'm saying? You can't come at a person and then what your walk of life is. I don't care if it's a sexual choice or whatever it is. As long as it don't, then so be it. Once you aggress on somebody else, it's a problem. And I'm gonna get out. I'm a talker, so I'm gonna say this. The one thing I don't like on both spectrums of that is I always use this example of if I see a transgender dressed in whatever sex, and I'm with my kids, and my kids, daddy, what's that? Isn't that a boy or isn't that a girl? Now, no matter what I'm teaching, I feel like and this is just assumption. I feel like that person's gonna my response if it don't align with their beliefs. Now, here's the problem with that. Now, you came out and judge you upon sight, and I also have the right to raise my children how I want to raise them. I explain to them, and I might get a look, or what you mean, or there's the aggression there. The line where it is, okay, I believe this and I teach this, but then you feel some type of way, like nah, let me touch on this too. I went down the Metro with my wife. I went down to Club Metro. I ain't gonna lie, I had a ball, one of the best clubs, but why you straight? Why you keep telling everybody you straight? Because it's a line of respect. I'm in here with y'all partying. You know what I'm saying? I ain't judging, but don't crack on me and stuff. In an incident happened in the bathroom where I'm sitting there talking to a guy. He's clearly gay, no problem. Most guys don't talk in the bathroom, but I'm like, hey man, I'm cool, I'm straight. And but he still aggressed towards me. His cousin, who was cross-dresser, transgender, or whatever, I don't know the proper term, and he grabbed my arm, not the cousin, but the dude. And I said, hey, no, you don't know me like that. And they came at me like I was wrong. So that where, okay, I might respect you, but then because of how you are, you aggress towards me. Now, if I was to flash out with both of them in the bathroom, who by assumption would have from? You see what I'm saying?
Like you said, so well, but like, okay, so I mean, there's a lot of aggression on both sides of this, because I think that especially when you're in their, for lack of a better term, when you're in their atmosphere, okay, in their home, so to speak, in their club, or in their expectation, okay, might be that everyone in here is like us. And that might not be the right expectation to have. And sometimes it's not what you say, but how you say it. And understanding that, I never want to excuse poor behavior. Poor behavior is poor behavior. It don't matter what your sexual orientation is, what you do for a living, where you live. Poor behavior is poor behavior. But we do have to find ways to communicate better all of our messages, because nowadays it's starting to, even though it's slowly coming out, more and more people and more transgender and more gay and more LBGQ community people are coming forward and saying, hey, this is what I am and I'm proud of it. They're coming out of the quote unquote closet. And some people are just not ready for it to be in their face. They're not ready for it to be out there in the public eye. It was always behind closed doors. It's just like if we say that a man is DL, man is on, he's DL. He still doesn't want all his business out there for everyone to hear or know, because he's not comfortable yet with himself or with what he has chosen as his sexual connotation. And believe me, being DL, to me, honestly, even though you're on the down low, that just means to me you're bisexual.
And all of it is still nobody's business.
But people make it their business, unfortunately.
I rest my case.
People make it their business.
I'm a
and
firm
that's
believer. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and that's the part that is hurting so many people. It's no different than us being Black and being pulled over because we're Black. We get people that, oh my God. Go ahead.
I'm going to take it back a little bit to the youth, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
The way people identify is their own personal. And with our children, we have to understand that even though they are children and we want to protect them and not so much shelter them, but keep them from certain adult ways of thinking, they are still human. And as humans, we have different emotions and different feelings. And to belittle a child to that they don't feel the way that they actually feel, I think it is wrong on our adult part. Because when us as adults say, well, this is how I feel and you need to accept it, we need to also understand that our children are just as human as we are. And if that's how they feel, then that's how they feel. Now, as parents, I feel like if my child was to come to me in that aspect, because I know what the different mental things are with how those things feel, I do feel like as a parent, it's my job to go get them therapy so that they can work through it, because a child doesn't understand how they're feeling. They just know they feel that way. I have several trans friends on both the male and female side. And like you said earlier, it has nothing to do with sexual orientation. It has nothing to do with who they love. It has how they feel on the inside as a human. It has nothing to do with who they want to have sex with. And that is the biggest misconception. And as a part of the LGBTQ plus community, I just sometimes, and I do get in my feelings, which is why I've probably been really quiet tonight, because if anybody knows me, knows that anything with LGBTQ is a really big passion of mine. And I try not to let my emotions get the best of me. But when it comes to our youth, because I know a lot of people like to throw up in everybody's face in the way that Dwayne and Gabrielle handled that situation, and they think, a lot of people think it's wrong, but I think they did the best thing that they could as parents to still keep their child mentally stable, knowing what that child is going through with feeling the way they feel on the inside. Because there's nothing harder.
And a lot of, and understand also with Zaya, this is Dwayne Wade's now daughter.
Yes.
You have to look at, he's considered a manly man because he played basketball in the NBA, and he gets the girl and he has kids and he's this manly man. And everybody's like, basically, what the entire fuck? And you're going to accept this from your child?
Yes,
who at the time,
good father.
At the time, the child was 12 when she came forward to her parents to let them know, I'm not comfortable with who I am. Basically, that's just, I don't know the conversation, I wasn't there, but basically, I want to be a girl.
And I feel like at the age that she was when she came out, mentally, because the child is at that age going through puberty, I get it. Transitioning as a child, I'm one of those people that feel like, because I know people that have also detransitioned, I understand waiting to transition till you're 18, which is why I said, as children, as a mom, if one of my children came to me and said at 12 years old,
Slow down, Jasmine. Okay, we can't hear you.
Sorry. So
she's just passionate. That's all. She's just passionate.
I get it.
As a mom, if my 12-year-old, if William, my son, now I know he was born a boy, but at 11, 12 years old, he's getting ready to go into puberty. If he told me at this age that he felt uncomfortable in his body and that he felt like he was born in the wrong body, my step as a parent is to get counseling. Not counseling to keep him from wanting to transition, but counseling to get him to a point where he fully understands. Because I know I'm a woman. I feel like a woman. I'm 100% woman. But I used to be that tomboy and that was confused about how and what I was based on what I liked to do. So I understand not transitioning them as children, which is a lot of people's argument. Why are we letting children transition? That should be a decision made for as an adult. And I get it. But they still need the mental preparation to be able to do that transition. And that's what they choose to do. Because without that mental preparation, you do have people that detransition. There's a if anybody watches Drag Race, it's one of my favorite shows. There was a drag queen on one of the episodes that prior to going on Drag Race, detransitioned, had fully transitioned, didn't have bottom surgery or top surgery, but was on hormones, had butt injections put in, everything to start contouring their body to being a woman. and then realized that it wasn't that they were a woman on the inside. They just like doing the drag thing. But in their mind, because they like doing drag, they were supposed to become a woman. Until they got the mental therapy to work through that process. Because it's hard. It's hard to deal with. It's hard to deal with just being non-heterosexual in whatever that means for anybody. Because there's so many different sexual orientations now that you just you got to work through the process. And that's
Now,
definitely what
I agree. I agree with the one thing. I want to take it a step further, because we have mentioned that we're going to get the child counseling. No, it can't just be the child. It has to be the whole family unit. Everybody has to be. Everybody, and I want to make sure that people understand that. Yes, we want to get the child counseling to help them progress to whatever their final conclusion is. But parents and even grandparents, aunties and uncles, who's ever in that child's life that is an adult needs to be supportive. And what happens is we get, well, especially if it's a young boy that wants to transition into a female, everybody knows that the statistics are up. This is the highest death per capita is death of a transgender, a male that becomes a female.
Yeah, because it's not, you're right. It's not as high on the other end of a female becoming a male. And a lot of times they get overlooked and people act like they don't even exist in the community. It's one of those things kind of just break the rug, because a lot of times when they transition, people are like, oh, you used to be a female? I would have never known. But the change is so much more drastic when you go from male to female. And a lot of people assume that they're doing it to trick men into sleeping with them, and it has nothing to do with it, because a lot of them aren't even homosexual. The percentage of homosexuals that transition from male to female is a lot smaller than we know as a community, because that's what's put out there. Oh, she only thinks he or she only thinks that she's a girl because they gay and they want to trick straight men, and that's not it. There's a lot of them. There are a lot more in that community that transition from male to female that still date women. They just feel like women.
And what's important here too is also that a lot of this does start, and I got to go back to this because I worked with teenagers for a lot of years. This doesn't just start as a teenager. I don't want people to get locked into that, because everybody thinks that, okay, well, you're going to grow out of it. Not necessarily are you going to grow out of it. Especially if you've been thinking about this and not being able to express it. Some of these children have thought about this since they were around 5 years old. Maybe even a little bit younger. So, I mean, I can remember some things, not a lot of things, but back when I was 3, which got me into doing events. I can remember carrying my first box behind the scenes. I was 3. Okay. But we want to always kind of just, oh, it's just a fad, or we don't want to take it seriously because they are so young in age. And we're not watching the progression of this individual that possibly is in the wrong body, or their thought process is totally different than someone else that's 5 or 6 years old, or because we want to carry on our lineage. Okay, let's be honest. I got my son, my son gonna do this, my son gonna do that. And then your son wants to put a dress and heels on.
a lot of it
So
just has to do with us understanding those at the end of the day. Just
Son
because
wants
they're
to wear
children,
dress and heels does not necessarily mean that he is not going to procreate your lineage.
that part
you
too. But
guys
again,
are touching on something. Oh, wait, Jasmine. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, at the end of the day, though, the biggest thing to understand is that just because they are children, that doesn't mean they don't have their own mind. They are still human
That
beings.
part. That part. And we need to stop sweeping it under the carpet and not paying attention and thinking, oh, this will just blow over as a parent because we want it to blow over.
If I don't recognize it, won't be. If I say that I'm not accepting it, then it won't be. Instead of, you know what, maybe you might need to go educate yourself too
The classic
Exactly.
and
line for
listen
me,
to your child.
yeah, the classic line for me is, oh, they're a child. They don't know nothing. They're a child. They don't
They
understand nothing. Didn't you understand stuff as a child? Didn't you argue against
that part.
your parents about what you felt? Why
Or
does a
did
Yeah.
you
child
forget?
understand?
Or did you forget what it was to be that age? I think you forgot.
So
And a lot
if
of
I may,
times, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna interject and say this: as a parent, fear over love or love over fear, because at the end of the day, to me, that's the root. Don't fear something you don't understand, and you'll learn behaviors of what you was taught when you was growing up. Because ignorant is not blue. But educate yourself about the world going around you. That's on you, because the world's gonna keep growing and changing, and we didn't learn about it. So if your kid like now, okay, so I was trying to speak on it. I want to, and but since we still talk about the kids, so years ago, and just guy, whatever, I'm silly, whatever. But as you pay attention, I'm sitting here listening because I choose to try to about. I don't judge or nothing. I want to understand them. When y'all were talking about the down in my head, like my thing is I always said, if who you are, I don't care what people think about me. So be happy, make no mistakes. If that's who you are, that's who you are. That don't mean you got to tell everybody your business, but be confident in who you are. You and that's a process. Um, right thing. Um,
But don't you, let
my
me
daughter
ask you
came to me.
this. Let me ask you this. When you say that, let me ask you this. So, when a guy, we'll say, a guy or a woman, either way, when a woman is very feminine, very beautiful, very gorgeous, she wears it like a badge of honor. Okay. A guy wears his masculinity like a badge of honor. Okay. So, although they, okay, are allowed to do that, everyone else, we don't want to, you too flamboyant. You too much in my face. You make me feel uncomfortable. You make me doubt myself.
Personal issue.
Right. Exactly. But that personal issue turns around into violence, which turns into, I don't get to be, if I'm transgender, my true self. I'm too busy trying to make you feel comfortable.
Check this out. It's funny
That
you
has
say
to
that.
do with people's insecurities, though.
But
Bam.
there's a
There
lot,
you go. There you go.
but there's a lot,
That part.
but there's a lot of
That
that
part.
going on.
That
Yeah.
part.
So therefore, people
Okay.
need to get over your fucking selves
Boom.
So,
and either mind your business or get educated. I'd
so
rather you
So
get educated.
again, correct. I rather them get educated. And when I say insecurities, I'm not saying like, oh, you just insecure. No, it's another mental play, and it has to do with the way that we were raised and reared, and how our parents and our parents' parents is generational, and people aren't secure in who they are, and are so afraid of somebody else changing them or forcing their beliefs on them instead of who they are. Person. They pick on people who are
Right.
different from them and bully people who are different
Mhm.
from them because they are not secure and standing in who they are, because some of them don't know who they are. They know who they were supposed to be according to their parents, their grandparents, and so forth. There's a lot of generational trauma, especially in the Black community, and that's that hatred and negative energy that gets put towards the LGBTQ community. It's self-hate in its finest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna touch on exactly that point. I'm gonna switch the subject. So me growing up in my 3 generations of my family grew up in Hollywood. I was raised around from the addicts to the dealers, you know, the alcoholics and all that. Aside, you know, my great grandparents had a business on the Ave, well respected. My great grandfather, Eli, so I know what cloth I come from. But I also was raised, you know, everything. But growing up, I was not of that. I knew very young to selling drugs and gangbanging, and I'm proud to be where I'm from. You know, what I mean, I'm a smart kid, all that. I'm a Trekkie. I used to go in my backyard and act like I was in the woods and cook sandwiches using a metal sash and, you know, do stuff like that. I didn't see nobody else in the neighborhood doing that. Around guys that sold drugs because that was my environment. That's what I seen growing up. You know, I was raised by men who were leaders, and I was always taught be comfortable who you are. Guys are who you are. If they don't like you, F them, basically. So I had that within me, and to this day, since we was in 5th grade, I ain't never cared what nobody thought. I did me, and I'm not saying everybody. The point of what we're talking about, I was around guys who I know were jealous, around guys who looked at me and was like, man, I wish I could be like him, but broke me down and try to make me, even on they personally, I never got let it get to me. I felt ostracized, and I felt different from I knew how to learn how to maneuver in and out of it because I was of it. I've been to galas where I'm sitting in a bed and I'm sitting there talking to them about casual stuff that guys talk about because I didn't feel intimidated about myself. I'm confident in who I am. It ain't about my finances. It ain't about my clothes. I ain't never had speakers. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't never had number 2 pair of Levi's my whole life. It's me. So when it comes to talking about these subjects, I always look at it from a psychological, you know, and that's the only way I can really fathom it. But I also look for understanding. So, for instance, people like help me understand. My uncle, he's, I don't know, about 59. He was like, man, I bags. You know, and I feel like, and if you can't truly explain why you feel a certain way, you need to go dwell into yourself. If you make a choice on this earth to be something, you should be able to explain it. And at the time when you can't, go figure it out. Short process, but before you make a decision that alters your life forever or life around you, go figure it out. Now I'm talking more so like adults and stuff like that. Kids like, and I was going to use this example for myself. So my daughter came to me one. I'm like, what the hell is that? Now I'm silly, you know, and I'm a cool parent. I made it a point to make sure my kids feel comfortable talking to me. What the hell is that? You know, I hadn't heard of it. She's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. I said, whoa, hey, daughter, hold on. Explain it to me. So she showed me the definition. I was like, oh, okay. I said, I don't give a damn what you regardless. That was it. You know what I mean? I didn't shun her. I none of that. To this day, we joke about it. You know, she don't have sex. She's like, I ain't that. Now I always had this conversation with people. You know, I'm like I said, I'm a little raised old school, but was to come out and say he was gay. Not gonna lie, my pride is like, damn son, you know, but because I seen a meme on Facebook and they had two guys, one in a wedding dress, the guy in a suit, and it's like that. You know, if this was your son, would you go to the wedding? I said, yeah, I go to my son's wedding. Love my son. I fully support him. You know, I said, now, would a part of me want to see my son? I had to walk out the room for that one. You know, because I just don't want to see that. You know, and
and with that, everything isn't for everyone.
Right.
But as long as you know you can accept, I feel that um and it's also something that you're probably not used to seeing. It's not something that was in your
And
thought
I
in
agree.
your thought process as a man. You might be able to accept them in baby steps, but the more it's like we said, it's a learned behavior. The more you see it, or the more it becomes. Some people will get comfortable with it. Some people may never get comfortable with seeing their child kiss another man, or their child kiss another girl. Some people may never get comfortable with that situation, but as it progresses and you see how I think all of us as parents want somebody in our child's life that's going to love them,
Oh
that's
yeah, hands down.
going to care
Well,
for them,
I mean,
going to nurture them, going to be there for them. And if we see that our child is thriving in this relationship, and the relationship is a good healthy relationship, I think we are more likely to accept it. Maybe not right away. Some folks it take a little longer than others, but I think it's the approach that we have nowadays. This is out here. This is in our face. This is not going away. Okay? It's going to get more and more and more. And we're going to see more and more and more. We have um let's see. Jamie Owen states, "I hate." That's a
Very strong
harsh
word.
harsh word.
Okay.
Gay men, but I respect and have worked with some cool ass ones. But no, this is because they respect you and themselves. And like Do and Shorty in the fold said, um, they do them.
They
And
do
if it's your problem, it's your problem. And from observing, it really becomes a problem for the person more than the gay person. And matter of fact, the gay person gets support from straight people who see the hate. Like, that man ain't even bothering you. You must like him. But
See,
that's a small minded person, first of all.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That's a small.
I think we have a problem with leaving space for people to be who they are because we're uncomfortable because we don't know, we don't understand. So therefore, if I don't understand and I don't know it, then it must be wrong. That's not
No.
how. That's not how life works. Let
And
people do them. Leave space. That's that's all you can do is leave space for them to do what they need to do.
and I want and I want I want our I want people to understand something else. Gay sex has been around since the beginning of time.
that
It
part.
isn't like it just showed up all of a sudden. It's not in the Bible. Stop thinking that it is, because it's not. People have brainwashed you to think that being gay is the most horrific thing ever. But in all cultures, there this exists. This is a sexual act. It is not it. That's all it is. Being gay is caring for someone, in our definition of it, is caring for a man of the same sex. Being a lesbian is caring for a woman of the same sex. Um, and if you can find somebody, I don't care if you gay, straight, poly, if you can find someone that makes you happy,
And that's
how
all that
dare
matters.
anybody how dare anybody else say anything? Shut the fuck up, because you're a miserable piece of shit. 9 times out of 10, you in a miserable relationship. You don't have your stuff together. And
Yep.
I hate to be that harsh, but I'm going to do it because I can. Because a lot of times it don't have anything to do with the fact that a man is gay or a woman is a lesbian, or people are in a poly relationship, or there's BDSM going on. It don't have anything to do with any of that. It has to do with your own, as we spoke earlier, your own insecurities. Your issues has nothing to do with the other people. Really, it doesn't. But it's been around. I guess that's the part that really bothers me when I go and talk to people about sex. Gay sex didn't just show up, okay?
In the 50s.
In the 50s or the 60s or the 80s or whenever y'all was born, and all of
Hell,
a sudden it's brand new. It didn't just get here. So stop it. It's been around for hundreds of thousands of years. It just is. It just is.
No worries, Jamie. No worries. We feel you though.
And again, it's not about, again, those definitions about sexual orientation have to do with who you choose to be in a relationship with. Sex, at the end of the day, though, sex is just sex.
That's it. Sex
There's
is
no such
sex.
thing. There is no such thing as gay sex or straight sex outside of the fact of who it is you're choosing to have sex with. That is what gay and lesbianism is. It has nothing to do with
And
where you penetrate, how you penetrate, when you penetrate, what orifice it goes in. It has nothing to do with none of that.
and here's the thing. You have to understand where this hate for something people don't understand where it comes from. You got to understand where that comes from. You got to go back. You got to go way back and figure out, where does this come from? Because love is love. I think Danny says that all the time. Love is love.
And love has
And
always been love. And, you know, and I don't like saying it, but until people started using religion to control people, love was always love. When they started using it to control the masses, that is when love no longer became love.
sister.
yep. And now as we've stated several times on our show, we are indoctrinated. We got this mindset of antiquated and out of date thought processes about what other people are doing in their bedroom. Honestly, it's none of your damn business what other people are doing in their bedroom or their car or their kitchen or in their backyard or wherever it is that they want to do it at. But we have to understand that we as people have to be a little more accepting. Not saying that you have to go out of your way to feel uncomfortable, but as we stated at the beginning of the show tonight, have an open mind. Stop letting somebody else put you in a box that they have made for you to be in. When you have your own brain and your own mind, and when it comes to young folks, as much as we want to act like young folks don't know anything, I think sometimes let's use this as an example. This is one of the examples I wanted to use tonight, because it seems to me that we got a lot of these kids going around shooting up schools, right? We got these kids going in Columbine. We got these kids getting rifles, assault rifles. These are learned behaviors that they've learned from their parents, how to go get a gun, how to fire a gun, how to go in. And now all of a sudden they going in there for 15 minutes of fame and they shooting up a whole school full of people. But what's so funny to me is, guess what? As they start to investigate it and the police delve into it after everything has happened, after we're burying children, after we're burying teachers, oh, there was a history of this. There was.
With all of
And,
that, in other words,
and
the signs were all there. If you only would have left space and listened, we might not be in this situation. Juicy, I think we need to actually do this. I think we need to continue this conversation for another show as well, because I think we haven't even scratched the surface with this, and I know we're kind of running out of time.
no, we haven't. And I just want people to, like I said, we can definitely do a part deux on this, because it's important that we get across to folks. Um, and I guess for me, it's really sad to see how we are turning into our oppressors.
That part.
We are turning into them slowly but surely. We are adapting to their thought processes. And because if you look, and there is a tribe. I'm gonna have a name for them. I got because I watched a documentary on them where they are men that marry men in this tribe. The women are there, but the women are there to have children, have more men. It's a whole tribe.
But isn't
The
there
men.
another tribe? Isn't there another tribe where it's the women who run all of that too?
Mm-hmm. But we are so stuck on European
That ain't
that
us. That is not us.
we've
But see, that
forgotten who we.
goes back to ignorance is not bliss.
There you go.
22 with got dang on Google.
And
If you
knowledge is definitely
choose to be
power.
closed knowledge, yeah, to enlighten and smarten yourself, whether mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it don't matter. You can believe what you want, man. Ignorant, not open minded. Hey, my uncle got a saying. Not all of us ain't gonna make it. Like, like, I don't, like that's all I can say. Like that's what's irritating to me. To not evolve as a human being and yearn for understanding instead of being a sheep and having your matrix and believing all this other stuff that's out there and how it could possibly harm you. Like you're talking about a kid. I'm Ryan Johnson up in North kindergarten. He was telling people, man, Ralph was talking about gentrification when we was 6. The way my brain works is I was put on by old people and I look at different stuff different. My mind is questioning everything, and find an answer that works for you because you never know the truth. So like if you choose to at 2022 to be a closed-minded individual, well, you know what? I'm sorry for you because you really can't enjoy life. It's so much
No, you
out there that's what you say?
no, you're right. Exactly. If you choose
Yeah,
to be closed-minded at
like
22 and you live to be 60 even, that's 4
like
years of being
like
stuck.
my grandfather is 93 years old. 90. Imagine all the things he's seen. So imagine me sitting down talking to my grandfather, telling him I ain't no Christian church. The church he raised me in, you know what I'm saying? He was like, huh? So what are you like? And I was explaining, I don't, I gave him my reasons. The one reason I love my grandfather is he never knocks why they want to choose to live their life. I was talking about my marriage when I left my wife. He left his first wife and met me in Indianapolis, South Carolina, after he went down there for the military. And he was like, well, what about this? What about the kids? The old school mindset is, what about the kids? I said, well, Granddaddy, check this out. I grew up in a single person. You can't use that argument with me. My daddy was not in my life, period. You know what his response was? Well, I can't tell. He's 93 years old and he can accept that somebody got their own frame of thought, accept and say, you know what? That's what makes them happy. That's what they do. Oh, freaking well.
It has
If
nothing to do
people
with
own
you.
happiness and
But
understanding
but
that somebody can be different, like the word of, if you don't understand something, just accept. The best way I can say it is like this, and I'm gonna be done. That somebody has a different opinion about something and agree to just freaking disagree. It would be just like people forget you have the right to have an opinion. Now it's called hate, called judging. If you just have a different opinion,
It's not
what's
that
wrong?
someone has a difference of opinion. Is you feel like your feelings is hurt, so therefore, because your feelings is hurt, you feel like someone should pay for that. When
F your
you
damn
want to say
feelings.
right, it's like one of those things. I can say what I want to say. Yes, you can say what you want to say, but you also have to deal with whatever comes with that.
right.
You're not exempt
Bam,
from consequences.
bam. And you know what? I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it
And hold on,
across
and
the
those
board.
consequences are not only, I'm sorry, those consequences are not only whether it be a physical thing of someone coming at you, but it could be a physical thing of what those things that manifest from those emotions from those young kids who are trying to figure themselves out, and they're just trying to they don't know, they may not know exactly what we know as adults, as parents and things like that, because we've lived a life, and we've had life experiences that they've not lived, but they are still those human beings in those bodies who are trying to figure it out. And our jobs as parents is to make sure that we give them the space for them to do it. Not
And
to tell them what to do.
not just that space, Danny, but I think not just the space, but we need to start giving them the support that they need as well.
I guess when I say the space, that is included with that. It's getting the understanding, it's getting the knowledge. If you don't understand, don't get mad at that child because you don't understand. Go get the knowledge that you need to get. And then when with that, you're leaving space by getting the information so that you know how to relate, how to talk to that child, how to allow that child to do what they need to do. You're knowledgeable now. Knowledge is power instead of ignorance is bliss. On that,
and I commend D Wade and Gabrielle Union
absolutely
for doing just what you just said, as well as Zaya for being brave enough because of who her father is.
And her bravery came from them because she understood my parents got me.
And
they let her know that we love you no matter what. Therefore, she was able to.
And now that, you know, she's 15, because it started when she was 12 and people had something to say when she was 12. Now she's 15, only 3 more years. And I think now they're legally changing her name, and going to legally change her birth certificate so that she can be marked as a female. And now the estranged mother wants to say that this is a publicity stunt on D Wade's part, which is most ludicrous.
This is very rich for someone who's coming from a place of you're not even there.
Exactly.
You know what? Let me take that back because I don't know what's going on in those people's lives. So strike what I just said from the record.
No, you're correct in the fact that she's not even there. Because I do believe she lost a lot of her parental rights with some of her antics.
That's
with her.
That's how he got it.
He has full.
I'm just saying that I'm sure there's a lot more to it than what we know. That's all I'm
saying. Yeah, there probably definitely is. You know, of course, there's 3 sides to every story: his side, her side, and then there's the truth.
And the truth.
So,
let me touch on that real quick. I would Dwayne Wade, like, if I could, and actually, my thing about it was that magnitude of his level, because as a parent, I'm looking like that's a lot to put on the kid. Like Magic Johnson and Cookie said, they always knew their son was like that, but we didn't know nothing about him until he was. And I don't really care.
That was also a different time. That was also a different time when EJ was coming. When he was a kid,
that's true.
We didn't have social media and shit like we got now.
And Zaya had been on social media
since before transition.
Changing.
How you say his name? Zaya.
Zaya. Zaya.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Zaya. It was Zion.
Okay. So out there first.
And I think her original platform also was to help other youth that were going through the same. Because she is, you know, Dwayne Wade's child. So she has she already had she has a platform. And I mean, even with Magic Johnson's, he doesn't identify as a female. He's
no, he does not.
He's just homosexual. He's not.
He's just right.
Yeah. I think that's the difference. So I think that's the difference. Dealing with the child's sexual orientation is different than dealing with a child who feels like they're transgender. Now, Zaya, they have had conversations though about sexual orientation because she's.
You're breaking up, Jasmine. Slow down.
Can you hear me? With Zaya and her transition, there has been conversation about her sexual orientation. With EJ, there didn't need to be, and that could be a more family private thing because there wasn't a transition of sexual gender.
Right.
But
right.
Conversation, and that's why I mentioned what I mentioned earlier about sexual with transgender, because Zaya's conversation has started more of that because she's now dating. Well, she picking out.
I can still hear
me.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Right. So Zaya's transition has brought up the conversation of sexual orientation within the transgender community because she's now dating, but she's now also dating another transgender youth. So she identifies as pansexual. And so I think that's where a lot of the...
Oh, okay. Now I get the pansexual thing. Okay, so I'm today years old when I understood the pansexual thing of it.
Well,
I never really understood
They
that.
don't see no gender.
But to me, it's okay. I think I get it. I'm
so with
it.
Pansexuality, you don't see a gender, you just see the person. You fall in love with the person for who they are. You don't look at
it's
male.
just liking what you like. It's liking who you like, no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just like who you like.
Okay.
And
so,
the
other flaws, you just love them.
But so with Zaya being, like I said, with Zaya being D Wade and Gabrielle Union being his her stepmom, excuse me, her stepmom. No way, especially nowadays with social media and everybody following you up your ass with camera, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. I mean, I think there was a card. I want to say it was a Christmas card or a holiday card of some sort, and everybody went freaking off because I had nails.
I remember that.
Okay.
But why do you feel some kind of way about what someone else does? Is it you?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it you? If the answer is no,
but because she's D Wade's daughter,
is it you?
It was just a Christmas card or a card of some sort that they were doing, and oh my God, she had nails. Now this is after she had came out. So what? I've seen, what do you call them? Grunge guys with nails out here painted black. Y'all not saying nothing about that?
You know what?
I'm gonna say this stuff. You know, it might. After she came out or whatever, the praise kid. I'm gonna say this: anything nowadays that's viral, quote unquote, and it's just even when computers weren't there, internet wasn't there. Anything the masses can talk, people gonna talk. So even if it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, it don't even be Wade's daughter. It don't matter. Like, it matters because that's the platform and why the access. But the fact that people nowadays, especially with the internet, and I talked to Jasmine about later on, but people now are looking to talk about somebody about something. Period. It don't even matter about sexual act. Nothing. People think to talk about somebody else, and at the end of the day, in my opinion, it's so you can somebody else because you feel less than of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
It's just like when when he came out, when she came out. Did you hear all of the celebrity talk shows that went after her and went after D Wade and Gabrielle Union for supporting they're supporting their child? And I
I heard,
think I caught a little, I caught a little bit of the Ellen. They were on Ellen, and he D Wade was talking about it, and he's like, "This is all new for me. I'm learning as we're learning as we go. It's all new."
but where do we get in the world where you knock a parent for loving their child? We keep it real simple. I like to break stuff down to the dirt. I don't mess with the roots, and I break it down to the dirt. Regardless to the
because
situation with the
they
problem, whatever
can't do it,
it
because they
is.
can't see themselves doing it. So therefore, to see someone else doing it, it looks foreign. So therefore,
But
they
see,
have to have something to say about it because they're uncomfortable with it when it has absolutely nothing to do
To do with
with
them.
them.
Exactly.
oh, okay. Here, regardless of either as a parent you agree or support it, but still loving your child. How can you knock a parent for loving their child? Like I said, I mean, I did my fault. I couldn't elaborate on it, but I'm just saying, if I was a bigoted parent that was home, and my child turns out to be gay, bi, whatever, I might not agree with none of what they do. Just like parents don't agree with stuff that we do, sexual orientation. So it makes it a little bit
Even
more
if you straight,
comfortable. But I'm still, yeah, even if you stress my child, how can you knock a parent? Damn the support. How I love my child, I'm gonna be there for my child, regardless of all you haters. I
Because
knock all y'all out. Y'all keep coming to my child.
because they aren't able to do it themselves. Some, because remember, a lot of our, even in our community, especially I think sometimes in our community, we are ready to disown the gay son. We are ready to disown
Harvey,
the lie,
go get out.
the
Like
the lesbian.
what are you gonna do?
We're ready to, oh my God, they're playing with dolls. We're ready to beat your ass. We're going to beat the girl out of you, or we're going to beat the boy out of you. I mean, we're ready to do these kinds of things to defend whatever it is in our mindset that says that we have to do that. And that is the indoctrination that has come along with how we have been raised. And we don't have that open mind. And we are technically, I feel there's some jealousy in there because we can't be open minded. We can, because then all of a sudden maybe we're weak in our mindset. We're a weak parent. We're a weak person, or some kind of a failure, or we're worried about what everybody else is going to say.
Bam, that's what I was waiting on. Cause see, I done see multiple. I'm telling you, every time one of my kids came out, even my nieces and nephews, see the love that was there for that child, that overshadows all that BS you talking about. So to me, it comes how came into your life. Some women didn't want to be mamas. Some dudes didn't want to be daddies, but they was burdened. So therefore, anything that come after that domino effect is if they don't like it, if it isn't decisions they make to make them accountable and the consequences of they decisions. Period. People don't talk about how, like I tell people all the time, being an '80s baby, we already know we can getting high partying.
I love y'all. Good
A lot
night.
of people shouldn't have been in a relationship.
Right,
Good night.
Jasmine? We know there's something else to do. Love you, girl.
Love you too.
A, a, a lot of people, to my grandfather said, a lot of people that was raised, our parents' generation, my parents' generation together, but because of old values, they did, but their kids got jacked up from it, and so therefore allow that type of stuff. But to me, and I've told my own mama this. Look, when my daddy wasn't there, and I said the only thing I promised myself to as a child was to be a father. Being there was going to be a better father, but to be a father, I didn't have not one person in my life thing. So when my child was born, I love my child. Period. That's whatever. I love my child. It ain't even about me no more. It's about me being a better father for my child. So if you don't have that mindset, and like I said, I had a baby. My baby mama 7 years older than me. She told me, I said, when you see me, did you decide to make me your baby daddy? She said, yeah, plan. And a woman with a plan ain't to be trifled it. And I say that to say, old, I'm a daddy and going through heck, but you know what? I put myself on child support because my child. If you don't have that feeling when you have your child relationship with that woman or man was consent, you gonna it's perception. Your reality, your perception of your reality about being that parent is different. Told me and my sisters, I ain't want no kids. Y'all owe me financially for raising y'all. So certain people, because of having the decisions they made, they don't want to be even when conceiving a child. I asked this question on Facebook and caught so much slack from women, and nobody won. I asked the simple question: why is the society does not hold women more responsible with more options of birth control, but when they do, they put more responsibility on the man or her getting pregnant because he didn't have a
What?
It's called a double standard. That's what it's called.
I understand that, but I'm saying it's not talked about. See, that's what I'm getting at.
But but that is also you have to also understand the government all up in that too.
Oh, of course.
Because they all up in there too, because they want to make sure that we're out here everybody's still out here having children. And you know, birth control is just that. It's birth control. If you don't take it, it don't work. If you and they're hoping and praying, which 9 times out of
use it.
They're not going to use it, and they don't. And then you've got a vicious cycle.
That's a whole nother subject. That's a whole
nother topic. That's a whole nother topic.
A whole nother subject, and we talking about young youth and transgender youth and everything. Because I could go on a whole nother rant about all of that right there.
Believe me, we can go on a tangent on that one. So,
man,
but you get the point of what I was saying, though, right?
Right. We get it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
We get it. Us being parents and making sure that we do what we got to do for our kids. We got to leave that space. We got to get the knowledge. We have to help them help themselves. Therefore, even what we have to do
better
for us.
yourself
So
as a human being.
Well, yeah, okay,
right.
But as a human being, you have to learn. You learn from somewhere. So if our parents, and I'm coming from that child standpoint, as well as being a parent and looking at my kids and wondering about, well, okay, where I was as a kid versus where my kids are, and now I got grandkids. So it's a whole cycle that happens. So how do we stop it at the root? Which would be
education.
Here. And
education, like
for real.
Education. Well, guys, my laptop.
We don't know yet. We gotta go. I'm sorry, honey.
Go, but we will be back with more details about chat next Monday night. Make sure you tune in. We start at 6 p.m. for our folks out on the West Coast, 8 p.m. Central Standard, and 9 p.m. for our people on the East Coast. We love everybody. I wish we could stay, but we gotta go. Everybody, remember to enjoy, enlighten, and embrace eroticism. Good night. Thank you, Mr. Ivan.
Anytime.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Thank